Let's bring in somebody who was just there, Utah Congressman Jason Chaffetz. He's also the chair of the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee. Congressman, what happened in this vote?
Hey, Gretchen. Look, Paul Ryan got the majority. He is the nominee, and much like a primary where people vote for different candidates, once we now have a nominee, I would expect that the overwhelming majority, more than the 218, will actually vote for Paul Ryan tomorrow on the floor.
Well, what's going to change between now? Do I have my numbers right, that he got 200 votes and Daniel Webster got 43?
Well, again, it's like a primary where sometimes you vote for somebody, but if they don't win, they come up short, then you get behind the nominee. And I think the body overwhelmingly wants to unite, and I think Paul will be that guy at an exceptionally strong vote. And I think he can undoubtedly get to 218 votes on the floor tomorrow.
Because, Congressman, I know that once you were going to run for this position, and then once Ryan's name came up, you said you would fully support him. Obviously, the machinations that go on behind the scene, there's no way in heck that he's going through all of this unless he knows he has the votes.
Well, he's had good meetings with a host of people. Paul Ryan is smart that way, and I don't think there's any doubt in his mind. There's certainly not any doubt in my mind that he will be well north of the 218 that you need.
Okay, we will see how that goes tomorrow. In the meantime, you're making some huge news because you are calling for the impeachment of the head of the IRS. You basically say that he lied to the American public. What's the likelihood that he's actually going to be impeached?
Well, it's now been referred to the Judiciary Committee. You have 6 members of the Oversight Committee that are on Judiciary, plus you have Darrell Issa, the former chairman. We need to make that case and go through the process there in Judiciary. But the case is really solid. I mean, it's based on the Inspector General, an independent group that came in, looked at this. The evidence is crystal clear. They had the lowest learner emails, they had the documents in hand, and they destroyed them despite a subpoena in place. There were false statements given to Congress. You just can't do those things without consequence. Imagine what would happen to you if you did that. So we're going to hold them accountable.
I don't want to know what would happen to me. But let me ask you this real quickly.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is the House may actually go along with you on this because that is, Republican dominant. So is the Senate, but they don't have enough votes. So will this be another issue where the House passes something and the Senate kills it?
Well, look, we can only hold ourselves accountable. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that the IRS is held accountable. And if the Senate falls short, so be it. They're going to have to explain that to the American public. But I'm not here to gravitate to the lowest common denominator. I'm not here to do what Harry Reid wants me to do or what the president wants me to do. We're going to act and do what we're supposed to do in a moral, ethical way. And I think moving forward on this case is the right thing to do.
Okay, so Congressman, did you decide to do this because the DOJ last Friday tried to hide it under a table that they were not going to actually go through with any kind of an investigation, that the case was closed against Lois Lerner?
We had started this months ago. We sent a 30-page letter to the president in July. The White House never responded to us. The fact that the Department of Justice will not proceed on Lois Lerner is a factor. We had held Lois Lerner in contempt of Congress. The statute says they shall refer that to the grand jury. The Department of Justice said after 10 months of study they don't have to do that despite the law. And so we have to do what's found in the Constitution, and that is we can hold a civil officer we can go forward with impeachment proceedings, and that's what's laid out in the Constitution, and that is at this point really our only remedy to hold them accountable.
All right, Congressman Jason Chaffetz, a lot on your plate last night and today. Thanks, sir, for joining us on The Real Story.
Thanks, Gretchen.